Hello guys, so I'm finally making a new video, and this time I'm doing something that I've always wanted to do. I'm gonna make a series of videos involving people that have done evil things, whether it's murder or treat people bad, create cults, and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna be this video is gonna be soft-spoken, so I'm not gonna be whispering, and it's not gonna be long, just a brief biography. And the first person I'm going to do is called Leonarda Cianciulli, aka the soul maker of Correggio. She was born on November 14, 1893, but this is up for debate. They think it's either 1893 or 1894, so the date varies. Leonarda unfortunately, she was born an unwanted child. Her mother was raped, and due to that, she was conceived. And unfortunately, also at the time and where they lived, if you were to get pregnant, you look bad if you don't marry the guy that impregnates you, I guess. So her mother was she felt forced to marry her rapist, which angered her and made her miserable. The family, they grew up very poor, so they're poverty stricken and miserable. The mother treated Leonarda really, really, really bad. She caused her emotional stress, and this made her try to attempt suicide twice. And when she reached a good age, she wanted her own life, and she left, and she decided to marry Raffaello. He was a register office clerk of the town in 1917. Her parents were very, very, very angry with her, especially her mother. They had arranged the marriage already for her. Because of that, they told her that she wasn't welcomed in the house anymore, so she left and moved to the town with her husband. Because she got married, she thinks that her mother put a curse on her. Her life wasn't that good. In 1927, she was charged with fraud, and it caused embarrassment to not only her but her husband. So they moved away. And when they moved away, they moved into a house, and things were getting pretty good until an unexpected earthquake hit and caused them to leave, because the whole city was ruined. And they eventually moved and settled to the city of Correggio. Now in Correggio, she miscarried in total of 10 babies, and out of the 10 babies, out of the 14 that she tried, 4 remained. And she was especially attached to one of her sons. I forgot what his name. And she does not want to lose any of her kids, especially him. She believes fortune tellers, so she eventually goes to one, and she tells her that she's going to have a lot of children, but she's going to lose them all before she dies. Which says right here. Upset and very distressed, she leaves and starts thinking of things of what to do. She visits a second fortune teller, hand reader, and the fortune teller tells her that she sees prison in one hand and that she sees an asylum in the other. Frightened, she goes home and figures to do sacrifices in order to keep her son. Somehow in her mind, she thought that was the only way. And since she believed in fortune telling, she did that as a side job, a little side job. She invited a couple customers in, and she realized that they were going into war, I believe, at the time. So they were drafting a lot of boys. So her favorite son, she was afraid to lose her favorite son, so that's why she was going to give sacrifices in order to keep her son. Sorry, I didn't explain myself right. Okay. So, her first victim, Faustina Setti. She went to her seeking love. She was unmarried, unhappy, and she was already getting old, so she needed to marry fast. If you don't mind, I'm going to be eating some hot Cheetos during the video. So she came to her wanting love, and she found it as a perfect opportunity for the first victim, her first sacrifice. She told Faustini that her love was waiting for her in a city not too far, but she must not tell any of her family members that she's leaving for that reason. She should just leave out of the nowhere. So of course she agrees. Happy, excited, she goes home, and the next day before she left, she visits her, and well, she offers her a drink, and Faustina agrees to it, and it was poisoned, so she basically just kills her and axes her body, makes her into soap, and makes her into tea cakes for the town. Makes her look good. And she figured that one sacrifice wasn't enough. Her second victim, Francesca Suavi, she came in looking for a job, and of course she promised her that there's a job in another town, but she shouldn't tell anyone about it, that she's moving away. She agrees, and once again poisons her, chops her body, and whatnot. The third victim, Virginia Cassiopo, wealthy lady, also seeking love, also promised love in a different town, chops her up into pieces. By this time, she's already, I guess, accustomed to it. So she takes her time, making her taste right and making the soap very creamy. I'm gonna read some excerpts from her memoir. Okay. This is from the first killing from Faustina. I threw the pieces into a pot, added 7 kilos of caustic soda, which I had bought to make soap, and stirred the whole mixture until the pieces dissolved in a thick, dark mush that I poured into several buckets and emptied in a nearby septic tank. As for the blood in the basin, I waited until it had coagulated, dried it in the oven, ground it, and mixed it with flour, sugar, chocolate, milk, and eggs, as well as a bit of margarine. Kneading all the ingredients together, I made lots of crunchy tea cakes and served them to the ladies who came to visit. Very chilling. So weird. Let me read another excerpt. This one is from the last killing, and she says she ended up in the pot like the other two. Her flesh was fat and white. When it had melted, I added a bottle of cologne, and after a long time on the boil, I was able to make some most acceptable creamy soap. I gave bars to the neighbors and acquaintances. The cakes, too, were better. The woman was really sweet. 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 The woman was really sweet. And so, let me explain one more thing. She wasn't left empty-handed from those killings. The first killing, she was able to get Faustina's life savings, a big portion of it, right before she died. Since Faustina was already excited for her new life, she was so certain. She basically gave her all of her money away because she knew she wasn't going to need it. The second victim, Francesca, she collected money from her as well, a big sum. And from Virginia, the wealthy lady, she got money and jewels from her, and a lot. Virginia's sister, or I believe her sister-in-law, she became very suspicious. So she excuse me. So she started asking around, asking the people where her sister was, where she was last seen. Some came forward and told her that they last saw her going into the fortune teller's house. So of course she goes and calls the police on the lady. The police arrived and she quickly confesses to her murders. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison and 3 years in the asylum, just like the fortune teller said. She lost everyone. She lost contact with her favorite son, her children. She lost everyone, and she died. She died of cerebral apoplexy in the women's criminal asylum in Pozzoli on October 15, 1970. So that's the story of her. That is the story of the soap maker, and I hope you enjoy. And I hope you're looking forward to the next video. I hope you have a nice day or a nice night. Goodbye. Oh, one more thing. If you don't mind leaving some suggestions on who to do next, please. So yeah.